Hey on the Towners, I'm Frank Licari. From the crown jewel that defined Palm Beach, to an iconic bridge to history, and an historic gem where the spotlight never fades. We're turning back the clock, exploring the OGs, the originals that put the Palm Beaches on the map. From the originals that started it all to the landmarks that still shine. We're checking out the iconic places that have stood the test of time as we go on the town on the Palm Beaches with me, Frank Licari.
This program is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. Visit thepalmbeaches.tv for more information.
We're starting out at the beautifully restored 1916 courthouse, home to the Historical Society of Palm Beach County. This landmark has truly stood the test of time. On the Town in the Palm Beaches is officially in session. Get ready to learn because we're about to meet the ultimate Palm Beach insider. So I feel like we're in the bowels of this building, right? Is this where all the secrets are kept? Is this where we can
This is where we keep secrets that we share with the community.
I like this.
Yeah. The whole premise behind the Historical Society is that we want to share the history of Palm Beach County with our community and the greater world that's interested in our history. So that's what an archive is all about.
You got maps, original maps of the area?
We have some maps of the area. We have over 3 million images of Palm Beach County through different eras.
Whoa! Maps, architectural drawings, newspapers?
Newspapers.
And was this the original newspaper?
Yeah, so this is the Tropical Sun. It was the original newspaper in Palm Beach County, Dade County, when it first originated. It was 1890s when the Tropical Sun first started being published by Guy Metcalf. What we're looking at is a 1917 newspaper talking about the dedication of the courthouse that we're in right now. And you get to see people's stories play out in these newspapers, and you get to see how a scrub town can be built up out of nothing.
Right. What is so special about this building that we're sitting in?
This is the 1916 courthouse. And its name just tells you what year it was built, 1916, which is a very significant time in the United States, right? We were going through World War I. We were going through a huge boom in the building in Palm Beach County. This is a landmark of its time, showing neoclassical architecture, something that can be a touchstone to our community.
What's the most surprising piece of history that you could throw at me?
I think that everyone thinks that history is very recent in Palm Beach County, but people have been occupying this area for over 12,000 years. We have Native American mounds, European occupation, we've got US government history, we've got World War I, World War II. We have so many different stories. Ordinary life stories that turn out to be extraordinary that we all have here in this Historical Society. That's what I love about the archives, is that we are collecting ordinary stories that just so happen to be extraordinary because someone decided to do something.
Why do you, from your perspective, because obviously you're the insider, why do you think it's important to have a place like this? What is the importance for you?
People need to know where they come from. People need to know where their community evolved from, what type of ordinary people did extraordinary things. And that gives you insight into what you can do in the future.
Next, we're visiting one of the Palm Beach's most iconic treasures, the Henry Morrison Flagler Museum. Once Flagler's winter home, now a living piece of Palm Beach history. The new executive director and CEO has a broad background in preservation successes in the county. Let's meet Amanda Skyer. What's your first impression when you first came in here, the first time?
Well, I have to go back to just remembering Whitehall as a child. You know, I grew up in Wellington, and so there were field trips where I visited the home, and multiple times in my previous position at the Preservation Foundation of Palm Beach that I had a chance to interact with Whitehall. But what was really incredible to me upon starting here is the incredible amount of work behind the scenes that goes on to make it look like this and to deliver the incredible visitor experience.
I've been in here now 3 times, and I just found out it only took 18 months to build, which blows my mind. absolutely blows my mind because the amount of detail in here.
And at a time when everything was made by hand, which is something that we take for granted today. And there were artisans working around the clock. The house was electrified from the very beginning, that they spent their entire lives honing one particular craft.
How do you keep a place this pristine 100 years later?
We have a full facilities department, including a workshop in our basement. A lot of people don't know that we have a basement.
Wow.
It's actually a fascinating place. We have a carpenter on staff. We have a full custodial team that's part of the curatorial department that has very rigorous protocols when it comes to the care and the cleaning of every object in our collection. When we take on projects like this for the room that we're standing in, which was recently restored, this is the dining room in the summer of 2024, we bring in the experts in the field for restoration of the plaster ceilings and restoration of the incredible woodwork that you see in here.
It used to have a darker stain on it.
Correct.
Right?
So not everybody knows that, after this was the home. I know this is your third visit.
Yeah.
After it was Henry and Mary Lily's home, it became a hotel from 1926 to 1959. And during that period, a 12-story tower was built on the back of the home in the Mediterranean Revival style, and they actually darkened the woodwork in this room to have more of an ebonized look to go with the style.
Right.
Architecture, I believe, is one of the most tangible ways to learn about history because you have a chance to interact with it and almost inhabit the spaces of the people that came before us for a brief moment of time and gain a deeper understanding of who they are. And I think with each visit, there's more to appreciate and a chance to dive deeper into the story.
Who doesn't enjoy a little drama? In a location where the curtain's been rising since 1924, we're at the Lake Worth Playhouse, one of the oldest theaters in South Florida.
We are celebrating as a theater, this is our 73rd season, 100 years in this building.
Amazing. Tell me the secret to keep this place alive all these years.
I think it's just resilience, to love for the place, love for the organization first and foremost, and wanting it to succeed. It's something that's special to me as not just an artist, a director, but just as a person, what this place represents. And we have of course, a lot of help.
Right.
So many folks that are here with us now on our staff and our board.
How many incarnations of this space would you say it's gone through?
This building has gone through 4 lives, 4 different distinct lives. The first life was the Oakley brothers, Lucian and Clarence, built this building for the silent film era. We had a devastating hurricane in 1928 to hit Palm Beach County, and then also the Depression. They lost a lot of money and they went bankrupt. It was taken over by a company called Publix Theaters, and then they were bought out by Lowe's. And Lowe's Theaters, they turned it into the Worth Theater, and it showed regular modern theater, when sound became available. And that went through the 40s and the 50s and into the 60s. In the 60s, something became available in America was multiplex theaters. And the multiplex theaters actually put all these single movie houses out of business. So the building sat here empty. At that time, there was a little community theater group that was performing in the city hall across the street called the Lake Worth Playhouse. And so they took the opportunity of buying the building. And so we've been here for 50 years.
That's an incredible story. What a history. Because it is a community theater, it feels like everybody feels like this is a home.
Because we have so many people from so many different walks of life. Everybody comes here, and it's a place where people can let all that go and work on a common goal and forge these relationships. But also, they're talented people.
Yes.
We do 6 large main stage shows a year. We have a smaller studio theater next door. All of our performers are volunteer. I would say about 300 volunteers a year will come through here to work.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this ceiling. All original?
From when they repaired the building in
repaired
1928.
Yeah.
It's Pecky cypress, which back in the 20s, it was everywhere. You can see the painting on the beams. You'll see an O and a T, which stands for Oakley Theater, the original owners of the building.
You don't typically come into a theater and stare at the ceiling, but when you come in here, you can't.
Yeah, you do stare at this ceiling.
Yeah, you
People
can't help
know.
it. Next, we're headed to an historic waterfront restaurant where the flavors are as rich as the stories. From century-old charm to key lime perfection, this landmark is a part of history you don't want to miss. What would the walls say if they could talk?
Pour me another one?
This place has been around for a long time. Talk to me about the history and the story behind the old key lime house.
My family acquired it in 1986. Our families were the original restaurant families of Florida. My great-great-grandfather, dating back to Key West, 1840, before the state was actually incorporated, 5 grocery store restaurants down in Key West. So our lineage is pretty astounding. His wife, Agnes, my great-great-grandmother, was the inventor of the key lime pie. So we are the kings of the key lime pie.
So this is truly a family business.
Absolutely, yes. I'm here every day. My mother's here every day, and we rock and roll it.
How have you been able to keep this as a family business for so long?
I think location is fantastic. I think the team that we've put together, the people that are here, it's more of a community than a business per se. We're very dialed in with our local town of Lantana.
What is your favorite dish, by the way?
It's tough. There's so many good things. I love obviously the crab cakes. Our salads are fantastic. The Wayno sandwich, named after my dad, is fantastic. Lobster, shrimp, escargot. I mean, it goes on and on. I don't know. I could eat something different every day. And
what's the best thing on the menu to give me the entry into the old Key Lime House restaurant?
The key lime pie, again, was invented by my great-great-great-grandmother, Agnes. Family recipe, it's cookie crust, obviously tart key lime juice, homemade whipped cream every day. We have a key lime pie team that all they do is make key lime pies. It takes about 4 days to make one pie through the different process that it goes through. But there's a whole superhero team of key lime pie makers back there, and that's all they do.
We're at one of Western Palm Beach County's most iconic landmarks, the Torrey Island Swing Bridge. This bridge operates manually the same way it did over 100 years ago. Built in the 1920s, the bridge connects Torrey Island to the mainland across the Okeechobee Rim Canal. When a boat approaches, crews still use a hand crank to swing the bridge open, giving visitors a rare glimpse into Florida's past. I'm doing it. Today, the bridge isn't just a piece of history. It's a getaway to incredible outdoor adventures, from camping and fishing to some of the best bird watching in South Florida. On Torrey Island, the old and the new truly meet in motion. When it comes to Palm Beach originals, no name shines brighter than Kassatly's. This family-owned business has been dressing Palm Beachers in fine linens and exquisite style for over 100 years. Step inside and it feels like you've entered a bygone era, one where craftsmanship, elegance, and personal service never go out of fashion. You guys have been here in this area longer than Worth Avenue has been here.
They had a Worth Avenue here, but there wasn't any stores on it.
Right.
And the Everglades Club came along and built down there where they were. That started it.
Oh, but you've obviously done well because you've made it this whole time, so you're still here.
More than my share.
Of course, of course.
The story is, my father came from the old country and had some money and went to people that he knew that came before him, and they were the wholesalers. So he would pick out whatever he thought would be good designs, and then he traveled from New York. If it was summer, he'd go up to the Cape. If it was winter, he'd go to Palm Beach. As far as Miami, then he liked Palm Beach. He decided to bring more stuff and sell it out of his car rather than do a store. So that was how he started.
Let's talk about why this place is so special. Most of this stuff is hand designed and handmade.
Yes.
Which is incredible.
They're made in Portugal and Madeira, off the coast of Morocco, like the palm tree I just saw.
Yes.
Nobody has anything
right.
like that.
I could come into you and say, you know what? I love this design and I want my initials. I want my pajamas, my bed linens, my curtains.
Yeah, all matching.
My throws. You want it all matched? You can do all of that.
Yeah.
Been working with your brother how long now?
Oh my gosh. I went in the service for 3 years.
Okay.
So he came to work, I guess, here.
Okay.
And when I got out, I was 21.
And you started this?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you've been working with him that long?
Yes. Okay. Most of it was with our parents because they haven't been gone for that long. My mother was here. My father.
Full family affair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I started off, sweeping the floor and all, but we never had much problems about getting along.
Sure. Of course, you can't. If you've worked this long and you've been in the longevity of this business.
Yeah, it's over 100.
Over 100 years. That's incredible. So what are we doing for the next 100? What's gonna? Where's the? I just finished climbing the 105 steps of the Jupiter Inlet Lighthouse. Now it's definitely a challenge, but look at this view. The Jupiter Inlet Lighthouse has guided ships and watched this area grow for over 160 years, and it's still standing. It's still always pretty darn cool to walk up and get to the base of it.
Yes, it is.
How many times have you made this walk and you said?
I can't count anymore.
Yeah.
After over 10 years, there's no way to keep that number.
It's an amazing view. You can
Best
see everything.
view of the Palm Beaches.
Yeah.
You got the inlet, you have the Loxahatchee River, the Indian River, Jupiter, you can see down to Juno Beach. It's really wonderful.
Talk to me about the evolution of where we come from.
The land itself has had over 8,000 years of history, 8,000 years of habitation here. So starting with the very early Native Americans through our shipwreck days, through the pioneer times of Jupiter, we've had all 5 branches of the military on site at one point or another. And then of course, our beautiful lighthouse built in 1860. This and the oil house next to it is the oldest standing building in Palm Beach County.
Is that right?
It is.
Oh, wow.
But I love to say with 8,000 years of habitation here, it means Jupiter has always been the perfect place to live.
Right? That's good. That's good. It's very good. Why is this still important to preserve?
So the lighthouse itself is still an active aid to navigation. It still comes on every night with its signature characteristic, or how the light flashes. Right. You could still find your way home based on the light.
It's amazing. Not just the lighthouse, you've got a museum here too.
Our museum is housed in our historic World War II Naval Married Men's Quarters.
Wait,
the historic
go back,
barracks.
Naval Married Men's Quarters?
Yes, so back in World War II, we were the Secret Station J. So the building was built in 1942 and housed 6 apartments for the married men.
Okay.
Our museum has 7 rooms about the different history of our area. We have other historic museums on site as well. We have the oldest home in Jupiter, not in its original location.
Okay.
We have the Tyndall Family Pioneer Home. It was built in 1892, originally a few miles upriver, but we moved it here for preservation, and now it's a museum exhibit. So you can walk through and experience what life would have been like here in Jupiter in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And we also have our Lighthouse Keepers Workshop that talks about the construction of the lighthouse, as well as the light keepers that kept it lit before all of this automation happened.
You guys are packed with stuff.
We are packed. We love to be a community center and have people from all ages and abilities come and experience the site as their little bit of Central Park here in Jupiter.
I love that. Next, we're checking out a hidden gem in Palm Beach County, a place celebrating the rich history and traditions of polo. We're at the Museum of Polo and Hall of Fame. With exhibits featuring legendary players, historic trophies, and a Hall of Fame, we're learning what makes polo an enduring part of Palm Beach County's cultural fabric. I would say polo is synonymous with the growth of Palm Beach County.
Yes.
Right?
Polo has been here since the early 1920s, so it has grown with Palm Beach County. Polo's been here, it's going to be here, and we're a part of preserving that history.
I love that.
We are the only Polo Hall of Fame in the entire world.
It's incredible.
Yes. We've got a ton of polo in the area, that the legacy continues to grow, and we're here to document that and keep the traditions going.
I've gotten to do it a couple times. It's a fun sport. I think the more information that gets out, the more people want to try it.
I'm very active in the polo community as well, and the more that we can get the word out there that we're here, we act as a bridge to that. So we're able, if people come here and learn about the history of the sport, we're able to get them to go to clubs and games, and most clubs and games are open to the public. I do truly believe everybody can connect with a horse and everybody can start playing polo.
I love that. What's a surprising maybe artifact or something where people are going to go, no way?
For me, personally, it's going to be the U.S. Open trophy.
Sure.
Created in 1911, it's now 124 years old. The US Open Championship has been being played since 1911, and it's been being playing right here in Palm Beach County for the last 23 years. The trophy was created by a woman, Sally James Farnham, incredibly talented. Her husband was one of the creatives over at Tiffany and actually put Tiffany on the map. So there's a lot of cultural context and history to this sport, and we're really happy to promote that. And the trophy itself is beautiful. It really is.
That's actually an amazing thing to think about, because that's like having the Stanley Cup, right? Or the Heisman Trophy.
We are the home to the Stanley Cup of Polo.
Amazing.
Yes.
Here in Wellington.
We also have quite a few other artifacts that we love, like the silver cup, the gold cup. We have a lot of art here, and there's a lot of history attached to it.
And I'm coming in here, and it's free.
Yeah, we operate off donations. You know, we want to invite people to come in, get a little history lesson, and then we can connect them and take them to a polo game or get them in touch with a polo club to learn how to ride.
Built in the 1930s as a National Guard armory, this building once trained soldiers for service. Today, it trains artists for the future. The Armory Art Center has transformed from a place of defense into a place of expression. Let's step inside.
Before I came here, I didn't realize why it was called the Armory. This actually was an armory. One of our storage areas that we used was the gun safe, and our current ceramic studio was the vehicle area. But basically how this kind of came to be what it is today is back in 1939, post-depression, they made a National Guard facility. And so then during the war, this was used to kind of train soldiers. After that, it remained a National Guard facility and became kind of a community hub. So the floor that we're standing on right now is actually original to 39. And this was a dance hall. In the early 80s, this place was decommissioned and it was slated for demolition. The Norton Museum of Art, which is a cultural mainstay in the area, closed their art school in 1985. And so all of those people were looking to fill the void and have a place to have a new creative home. And so the community came together, and in 1987 we opened our doors as a nonprofit art school. And so we're approaching our 40th year anniversary now.
It's kind of like the old adage, like energy doesn't stop, it only changes. And so you've got this building that could have been just sort of gone, and all of a sudden you repurpose and it's become one of the landmarks of this area. Talk to me about the art in here now.
We blend so many different media in what we teach. We have so many different types of students coming in, and we like that to be reflected in the exhibitions that we show as well. We serve about 12,000 people over the course of the year. Those are people that come through, they're taking classes in one of our number of facilities. They come through our art fair, they come to shows, artist talks.
12,000 a year is no joke. That's a lot of people.
We have every type of 2D art. We have fibers and glass arts. We have a whole jewelry studio. We have one of the best ceramic studios in the region. And we have welding, we have figure sculpting, we have a robust photography program, stone carving. So there's a lot of things in one place, and we're incorporating new things all the time. I love that we run the gamut of going back to antiquated times of figure drawing from live models. You know, we have kind of Grecian models in our studios, static ones to draw.
Oh, I thought you wanted. Oh, I thought you wanted. Because I'm available.
Yeah. Okay. We're always looking for new models. Yeah. The thing that I think really doesn't change is people wanting a venue and a place to explore their own creative expression.
Yep. We're inside a legendary resort. From its glamorous beginnings in 1926 to today's modern luxury marvel. Nearly a century after Addison Meisner first dreamed it up, the Boca Raton still sets the standard, evolving from a Gilded Age getaway into a modern icon of style, history, and timeless hospitality. Your responsibility of taking on such an iconic landmark in this county.
But I think it's also humbling to be the 9th or 10th leader of such an iconic property over the last 100 years. You're really stewarding it for a very short chapter in its very lengthy history.
Right.
The cloister is the beginning of the overall resort. 1926, Meisner, fresh off of all of the beautiful mansions he did in Palm Beach, found this sleepy little farm community and decided to become a developer, not just an architect, and decided he needed a hotel. They built the hotel, and then the community grew around it. The cloister was the initial cloister inn, and we still have that original part. It's one of my favorite parts. We call it the members' entrance, has the original ceiling and doors there, and the rest of the resort really evolved around that over the next 100 years.
So when Meisner's sort of stamp is all over this place,
Yes.
are there spots specifically that have been preserved?
Absolutely. That original entrance, the cathedral dining room, which is right off of Palm Court, the historic fountain in the front courtyard when you arrive, and all of the arches that you see behind us. This cloister walk is original to the property, so everything we could keep, the barrel, tile, roof, etc.
But you're modernizing as well as keeping the old, which is unique.
Yes, our 950 rooms are really spread over 5 lodging properties, and so we have tried to be true to the Beach Club in that renovation. The iconic tower was built in the late 60s, so we renovated that to a mid-century modern. The cloister rooms, we are returning them to a contemporary feel for the modern traveler, but we're using wood floors and things that Meisner would have used in his work. So we're always trying to pay a nod to Meisner. We don't want to mess with the fabric of what's been here for 100 years because the property really is iconic.
That's incredible. So 100 years and hoping for 100 more.
Absolutely.
And you're at the helm. You're at the helm for a little while.
I'd like to do a little bit of that.
I love it. From grand mansions to historic theaters, timeless shops to shining lighthouses, it's been a fun time exploring the OGs, Palm Beach originals, reminding us that some places never go out of style. We hope you'll get out and experience everything the Palm Beaches has to offer. Join us the next time as we go on the town in the Palm Beaches with me, Frank Licari. To think that in 100 years, someone could be looking at my stupid pictures and that could be the archive for that era.
Yeah.
I would be the benchmark of what that era was.
Doesn't that make you feel so special?
Oh, I feel so bad for the people 100 years from now, right? Like, they're looking at me like.
This program was brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. Visit thepalmbeaches.tv for more information.